Hey guys, welcome back to Virtual Awana through NorthWoods Church. I'm Matt, your family pastor. So this week we're going to start a new series where we talk about Jesus. We're going to talk about who he is and what he has done for us. And so today we're going to start off with talking about fingerprints. Have you ever had a fingerprint done before? And did you know that every fingerprint is a little bit different? So on this piece of paper, I already went to my friend Rachel Bland and I got her to put her fingerprint on this piece of paper. And I am going to do the same. She chose blue, and so you can tell the difference. I've got red. So I'm rolling my thumb in the ink, and then I'm gonna put my thumbprint next to hers. So let's take a look at these thumbprints together. So just like I said, everybody's thumbprint is a little bit different. We often identify who a person is by their fingerprints. That's why when somebody needs identification, like they go get a driver's license, or they potentially go get an ID, or even if somebody goes to jail, they take people's fingerprints because everybody's fingerprint is unique and you can identify somebody by their fingerprints. We can also identify who Jesus is by what we learn about him in the Bible. So the Bible gives us a clear picture or a snapshot of who Jesus is. And one of the cool things in the Bible, it says that Jesus is the image of the invisible God. What does that mean? It means that we can't see God, but we can see Jesus. And by seeing Jesus and what he does and his character and who he is, we can tell who God is. It also means that when it says he is the image of the invisible God, it means that Jesus is God. Jesus wasn't just some ordinary person that walked around the earth. Jesus was God in human flesh. And not only that, Jesus was the exact representation of God, meaning he shows us this image of who Jesus is. So again, you take the look at the picture of the two thumbprints, one of me and then one from Rachel. You see our thumbprints are very different. Not only are they different colors, but the markings on our fingers and the grooves and the lines that are on our thumbprints are completely and totally different. But since Jesus is the exact representation of God, meaning he is God, if you took God's thumbprint, if that was even possible, and you took Jesus's thumbprint, they would be exactly the same. The exact same. Jesus is the image of the invisible God. The Bible also says that Jesus is God's son. He is fully God, and that means that Jesus is powerful. He can do amazing things just like God. We're going to take a look at some Bible stories over the next few weeks about who Jesus is and what he has done for us. But Jesus did things that only God could possibly do. Jesus calmed a storm. He was on a boat and the storm was raging, the boat was rocking, and it was raining and lightning and thunder, and everybody was terrified in the boat of what was happening. And then Jesus was woken up by his disciples who were frightened, and Jesus just spoke and the storm went away. When it's stormy really bad outside, can you go outside and just say to a storm, "Hey storm, go away"? No, you can't do that. Why? Because you're not God, and I'm not God, but Jesus was God. He was the image of the invisible God. And so he can tell a storm to go away. That's pretty cool. So based on the lesson this week, here are some big ideas about who Jesus is. Jesus is both God and the Son of God. He is the exact imprint, or exactly like his Father. So our verse for this week is Hebrews 1:3, which says, "He is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature, and he upholds the universe by the word of his power. And after making purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high." How cool is that that verse says he upholds the universe with the word of his power? That means that he just speaks and the universe is held up. How would you like to have that type of power? And that's the type of power that Jesus has. Second point, Jesus showed that he was God when he lived on earth by doing things and teaching things that only God could know. Just like we talked about calming the storm. Only God could do that. And so we understand that Jesus is God. Third, Jesus has always been alive. The world was created through Jesus, and now he holds the universe together. And so Jesus is eternal. Jesus wasn't created by anybody. He has no beginning and no ending. He always has existed. And boys and girls, we talked a few weeks ago about what eternal means. And Jesus is eternal. He has no beginning, no end. He's always existed and always will exist. So here's some things to think about just to sum it up. Jesus is fully God and the Son of God. He is the exact imprint of his Father. He's like the fingerprint that matches God's fingerprint. They are both exactly the same. Jesus showed us that he was God when he lived on earth. He has always been alive. Just like God is eternal, Jesus is eternal as well. And only Jesus can save us from our sins because he is a sinless God. Did you know when Jesus walked the earth, he was human too, but he never sinned. And because he was fully sinless, he could rescue us from sin. That's our lesson for this week, and hope to see you in a little bit for our challenges for the week. All right, guys, let's talk about challenges and bonus challenges this week. We're going to talk about this in one big clump this week. And so for your challenge for this week, if you are in Sparks, then you're supposed to be doing 2 lessons a week in your handbook. If you're not making that type of progress, that's okay. Just keep working, keep going, keep doing. If you are in TNT, you're supposed to be moving at a pace of 1 section per week. We want to encourage you to keep on with that. And your bonus challenge for this week is the same as last week. We asked you last week to look up a people group on imb.org under the people and places section. If you want to find a new people group this week, that's fine. If you want to pray again for the same people group you prayed for last week, that's fine. But we want you to pray for that people group. If you could do it at least 3 times this week and start making a habit of praying for people that need to hear about Jesus. Maybe you want to do that individually. Maybe you want to do that as an entire family. However you want to do that, we want to encourage you to pray for people to hear about Jesus. We'll see you next time.